Marley about 7 years ago at Second Chance Animal Shelter. Marley was so excited to see us. He was so excited that he peed on the floor of the room where we were. And he was just such a happy dog that it just stuck out. He was so friendly and happy. He just was what you think of a lab to be. That's what he was. He had really, in his ears were really hard, and they said that that was from like blood pooling in his ears from shaking his head excessively. It was like a hematoma, I think they called it. He also had some allergies. One that's kind of in remission, so to speak, is about a year after we got him, he started having seizures.
When the fight happened, I was actually going to let Marley outside. Actually, right here was where it happened. And Cannoli was just playing around, and Marley is a very old dog, and it hurts a lot more to play, so he doesn't like playing. So Marley kind of snapped. He didn't snap viciously, he just like barked to sort of get him to stop. And then Cannoli took that as violence and started attacking him. And Oreo didn't know what was going on, so she just jumped in and started helping Cannoli attack. What ended up happening was one of them bit Marley's ear.
One of his ears kind of like ripped a little bit. And it didn't really bleed for very long. And he seemed okay. The next day, he was shaking his head a lot because that's just what he does because of his allergies and stuff. And it kind of started bleeding again.
He ended up needing to go to the vet and get stitches. I would 100% call it an accident.
We got Oreo 5 years ago. She was in a kill shelter on Long Island, and she was surrendered by her owner, who was facing like some criminal charges and was ordered to surrender her. So he surrendered her to a kill shelter. A family member heard about her. She had been rescued by this family that had other dogs and had younger kids, and it was kind of overwhelming for them. So this family member said to us that this family was looking to rehome her. So we got in contact with them, and that's how we got Oreo. So before we got Great Dane, Ben, my husband, and I were looking at big dogs, and I'd always wanted a Great Dane, like for as long as I could remember. I just thought they were really cool looking dogs, and they seemed to be kind of like couch potatoes, which I kind of regret that now because they're on the couch all the time. But so Oreo, I don't know if you would consider this a problem. She's very, very protective, which is, yes, a good thing, but it can also sometimes be a problem because if people come to the house who are not strangers, she tends to get very possessive and will kind of bark really aggressively. She's nipped at people before, people that she doesn't know. If you're her family, she's totally in love with you and she would never hurt you. But anybody coming to the door, if they ring the doorbell, if they knock on the door, if the mailman comes up the walkway, or if the UPS guy comes, she just loses it. She has destroyed some of our windowsills in our house. She's bitten holes in our couch, all because the mailman came. I think a lot of it is anxiety. She's also, one of the other problems is she's very food driven. So she, in the past, has because, you know, she's so tall, so she's like counter height, and she has taken loaves of bread off the counter and eaten them, bags of chocolate, a graduation cake that happened. She just will eat and eat and eat and have no sense of just being full. She also, we had to put a baby lock on our garbage because it's a drawer and it pulls out, and she learned how to pull it out and would eat the garbage.